Hello, dear students. Happy New Year to you all. I hope you have enjoyed Diwali and New Year Day. Firing crackers, making rangolis, making lanterns, decorating diyas. Now it's time to get back to study. Today we are going to start our semester 2. Today we will learn chapter 10 Respiration in Organisms and Science. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about respiration mechanism of human beings, some animals and insects. So let us start the chapter. Science chapter 10 Respiration in Organisms. Let us start the chapter with one incident. One day, Dhyan was eagerly waiting to meet his grandparents who were coming to the town after a year. He was in a real hurry as he wanted to receive them at the bus stop. He ran fast and reached the bus stop in a few minutes. He was breathing rapidly. His grandmother asked him why he was breathing so fast. Dhyan told her that he came running all the way, but the question got stuck in his mind. He wondered why running makes a person breathe faster. The answer to Dhyan's question lies in understanding why we breathe. Breathing is a part of respiration. Let us learn about respiration in this chapter. As Dhyan was having question, why do we respire? Let's find out why do we respire. In chapter 2, you have learned that all organisms are made up of small microscopic unit called cells. A cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of an organism. Each cell of an organism performs certain functions such as nutrition, transport, excretion, and reproduction. To perform these functions, the cell needs energy. Even when we are eating, sleeping, or reading, we require energy. The cell can perform these functions only if they get an energy to do so. But where does this energy come from? The food has stored energy, which is released during respiration. The energy present in the food gets released when the organism respire or breathe. So we can say that all living organisms respire to get energy from food. As we all knew, during breathing we breathe in air. You know that air contains oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide. The air we breathe in is transported to all the parts of the body and ultimately to the cell. In the cells, oxygen in the air helps in the breakdown of food. The process of breaking down of food in the cell with the release of energy is called cellular respiration. Cellular respiration takes place in the cells of organisms. Let us discuss about cellular respiration. Cellular respiration can be defined as the process in which the food that we eat is broken down inside the cells, which results in the release of energy. In the cells, the food, that means glucose, is broken down into carbon dioxide and water using oxygen. And energy is released. Food can also be broken down without using oxygen. Now let us learn about two types of respiration: aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. There are two types of respirations: aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. When breakdown of glucose occurs with the use of oxygen, it is called aerobic respiration. And when breakdown of glucose occurs in the absence of oxygen, it is called anaerobic respiration. Here is the difference of aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen, while anaerobic respiration takes place in the cells in the absence of oxygen. Aerobic respiration leads to release of high amount of energy in living organisms, and anaerobic respiration results in a low amount of energy. Human beings and many other animals undergo aerobic respiration, while yeast and sometimes human beings undergo anaerobic respiration. In aerobic respiration, carbon dioxide and water are also released, while animal muscle cells release lactic acid and yeast release ethanol and carbon dioxide in anaerobic respiration. You can easily differentiate between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Some organisms, such as yeast, that can survive in the absence of air, they are called anaerobes. They get energy through anaerobic respiration. That means organisms that can exist in the absence of air are called anaerobes. They undergo anaerobic respirations, hence can get energy even without oxygen. For example, yeast. These are unicellular organisms that exist in the absence of oxygen as well. As a byproduct, they release ethanol and carbon dioxide. That is why they are used to make wine and beer. This is called an alcohol fermentation. Now let us discuss about anaerobic respiration in human beings. Our muscle cells can also respire anaerobically, but only for a short time. Muscles of human beings can respire without oxygen. This generally happens when we undergo a heavy exercise such as running, weightlifting, cycling, or walking for a long duration. In such situation, the muscles require more energy and the supply of oxygen is not enough. Then anaerobic respiration takes place in the muscle cells to fulfill the demand of energy. And as a result, the muscles also produce lactic acid along with energy. This lactic acid accumulates in the muscles and causes cramps. That is why we often feel cramps while we do heavy exercise. We get relief from cramps after a hot water bath or a massage. This is so because hot water bath or massage improves the blood circulation in the muscles. As a result, the oxygen reaches the cells easily, which breaks on the lactic acid into carbon dioxide and water. Now let us discuss about breathing. What do we mean by breathing? A process in which organisms, with the help of their respiratory organs, take in the oxygen-rich air present in the surroundings and release out air that contains high amount of carbon dioxide. That is called breathing. Breathing occurs continuously in organisms. Let's do one activity. Close your nostrils and mouth tightly and look at a watch. What did you feel after some time? How long were you able to keep both of them closed? Note down the time for which you could hold your breath. So now you can understand that you cannot survive for long without breathing. In this way, we can say that taking in air rich in oxygen and giving out air rich in carbon dioxide with the help of respiratory organs is called breathing. The taking in of air rich in oxygen into the body is called inhalation, and giving out of air rich in carbon dioxide is called as exhalation. The number of times a person breathes in a minute is termed as the breathing rate. Breathing rate can be defined as the number of times a person breathes in a minute. The breathing rate is not always constant in human beings. We generally breathe faster when our body needs more energy, for example, while exercising, running, etc. This is so because the body needs more oxygen that can break down the food and produce more energy. An average adult breathes 15 to 18 times in a minute. While exercising, this rate can change up to 25 times a minute. How do we breathe? Let us now learn about the mechanism of breathing. We take in the air present in the environment through our nostrils, which travels through the nasal cavity. Then it moves through the windpipe and reaches to the lungs. You can understand this through the diagram of respiratory system, which is given on page number 112 of your textbook. After lungs, the lungs are located in the chest cavity, which is surrounded by the ribs, and on the floor of the chest cavity there is muscle sheet called diaphragm. Breathing involves the movement of the diaphragm and the rib cage. This is so because the lungs expand and contract during breathing. As we take in the air, it fills up the lungs. This moves the diaphragm downwards and the ribs outwards. The lungs, when releasing out air from the body, which brings back the diaphragm and the ribs to the original position. Inhalation is the process of taking the air that contains oxygen inside the body. During inhalation, the diaphragm moves downward and the ribs moves upward and outwards, thereby increasing the space in the chest cavity. This leads to the movement of air inside the lungs. Let us understand. Let us learn about one interesting fact. We all know we all sneeze. But why do we sneeze? As we inhale the air present in the surroundings, sometimes various unwanted elements such as smoke and dust are also included in it. However, they get stuck in the hair in our nostrils, but some of them can get through the nasal cavity. They cause irritation in the nasal cavity, which makes us sneeze. Sneezing helps us in getting rid of unwanted particles out of the nasal cavity. But take care, when you sneeze, you should cover your nose so that the foreign particles you expel are not inhaled by other persons. Students, till now we learnt about the mechanism of breathing in human being. Now, let us discuss about the breathing mechanism of other animals. Animals such as elephants, lions, cows, goats, frogs, lizards, snakes, birds, they have lungs in their chest cavity like the human being. How do they breathe? Do they also have lungs like those of human beings? Let us understand it. Let's find it out. Here we are going to discuss about the breathing mechanism of cockroach. Breathing in cockroach. Many insects like cockroaches have small openings called spiracles present on the side of the bodies. Insects have a network of air tubes called trachea for gas exchange. The air enters the body through the spiracles and diffuses in the cell via the trachea. Similarly, the air from the cells enters the trachea and moves out the body through spiracles. These air tubes are found only in insects and not in any other group of animals. Now, let us discuss about breathing in earthworm. Recall from chapter 9 of class 6 that earthworms breathe through their skin. Remember? Earthworms have soft, slimy and moist skin. Hence, the gases can easily pass in and out of the earthworm through its skin. Similarly, frogs also have a slippery and moist skin that can help them in breathing. However, frogs contain lungs. Now I have one question. Can we breathe and survive in water? There are many organisms which live in water. You all know about aquatic animals. How do they breathe in underwater? Let us discuss about breathing underwater. In class 6, you have studied that gills in fish help them to use oxygen dissolved in water. Animals that live underwater have special respiratory organs called gills. They are comb-like structure present on the skin of the animals. Gills allow the exchange of gases between animals and the water easily. Sometimes animals called amphibians can breathe on land by lungs and through moist skin underwater. Can you give me the example of such animals? Frogs. They can breathe on land by lungs and through moist skin underwater. Till now, we have discussed about the breathing mechanism of human beings and some animals and insects. Now, let us discuss about respiration in plants. Plants respire through tiny pores present on their leaves surface called stomata. This you have already learned in previous class. Oxygen enters the plant while carbon dioxide leaves the plant through these pores. Roots of plants respire through air spaces present in the soil. Like all other living organisms, living cells of the plants, the root cells also need oxygen to generate energy. Roots take up air from the air spaces present between the soil particles. Can you guess what would happen if a potted plant is overwatered? मम्मा आपको बहुत बार बोलती है प्लांट में ज़्यादा पानी मत डालना नहीं तो प्लांट मर जाएगा. But do we know why plants can die if overwatered? We know that the roots get oxygen from the soil. We also understood that the air in the soil is present between the soil particles. Along with the air, soil also contains some water or moisture. If we overwater the plants, the spaces between the soil particles get clogged. So there will be no air between the soil particles. As a result, the root will not be able to get enough air and the plant will die. My dear students, in this chapter you learned that respiration is a biological process, very important biological process. All living organisms need to respire to get the energy needed for their survival. Hope you have understood and study well. Thank you.